Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and aloha from Hawaii. We'll be doing our next 3 games from the finals on my vacation, which explains why this all looks a little bit different and sounds different, but I can assure you, the same great content, the same great way. Let's get into game 1. I fired up Synergy Sports and went through a ton of their stats and their video, and I saw some really interesting things I'm going to show you. The first thing is that Peja Stojakovic looks like that 45-year-old playing in the games at the YMCA with all the 18-year-old high schoolers. Now that said, there is going to be a game in this series where he will help. He'll hit some shots and he'll overcome some of the defensive deficiencies he has. But last night was not one of those games. Neither team matches up perfectly with each other, and you'll see Wade is supposed to be guarding Peja. On the swing pass, though, he gets a wide open 3 but misses. Watch how Peja has to help and recover on that pick and roll, but he can't get back in time to put enough pressure on Haslam to stop that layup. And he certainly isn't qualified to play the 2-3 zone weak side forward where he has to box out, as Chris Bosh rudely shows him. One of the Mavericks' biggest troubles was J.J. Barea and Jason Terry shooting a combined 4 for 18. Let me show you what happened there and how they might be able to fix it in the future games. J.J. Barea has been excellent all playoff long. Here you'll see Chalmers go under the screen, giving him the shot, which he just misses. In the open court, it's going a little too fast for Barea, and even when he gets an open shot, he misses the layup. Again, Barea does an excellent job getting around the screen and roll into the lane, but can't handle Bosh's length. After Peja's great shot fake and penetration, Terry just backs up instead of moving in, and he takes a long shot with more time on the clock left. After a beautiful defensive stop where they block the shot, down by 8 with over 2 minutes to go, Terry runs to the corner and Kidd hits him, and he just jacks up a long 3 while he's guarded. Terrible shot. In a bit of a surprise, Rick Carlisle opened up with Stevenson on LeBron. However, I thought Marion did an equally good job. It's all about where you let LeBron James catch the ball when he comes around. Watch how Stevenson will come around and let LeBron catch the ball within about 15 feet of the basket. They don't double and let him dribble the ball several times before he can turn around and hit a nice, easy fadeaway shot for him. By being more physical with LeBron and not letting him catch the ball until he's about 20 feet away, now when he posts up, it's a lot harder to get to the basket and get that easy shot off. Stevenson moves his feet very well, and that fadeaway is a lot farther now and is a lot more difficult. What no one's talking about is the fact that they have Tyson Chandler guarding Chris Bosh. On paper, it might sound like a good idea and not have Dirk guard him. However, all it's doing is taking Tyson Chandler away from the basket and not getting defensive rebounds. Miami Heat got a whole bunch of offensive rebounds, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that Tyson Chandler was way too far away trying to guard the pick and roll. A perfect example is here, where Bosh sets a very high screen and Chandler is caught behind the ball, can't get in position for the rebound, and they get another offensive rebound and a new possession. Chandler should be back there anchoring the defense, not Dirk. As a result, Dirk even gets an injured finger on this play. Another byproduct of having Chandler guard Bosh on top is that Dirk Nowitzki has to guard Joel Anthony, which is not a good matchup for the Mavericks on the defensive rebounding end, as Anthony is much quicker and stronger toward the ball. And if you're worried what would happen when they go to the post against Dirk with Bosh, here's an example of Dirk playing very good defense, moving his feet, and they can come over and double and bother that shot. And without having to guard Bosh, Chandler can now roam around the lane and do what he's best, bother shots and put pressure on the shooter in the lane, and they get a steal. The Miami Heat like to have Joel Anthony guard Dirk Nowitzki, and Dallas needs to take advantage of Anthony's inability to stop helping other people on defense. They left Dirk alone way too often, but unfortunately for the Mavericks, Dirk couldn't make the Heat pay. To start, when they post Kidd up against Bibby, Anthony's going to come over one pass away, giving Dirk a wide open 3 that he just can't hit. On the screen and roll, Anthony will help on the roller Tyson Chandler, giving Dirk some freedom. Dirk gets to the basket but is bothered by the quickness and can't make that shot. And when he does get by Anthony, here comes Dwayne Wade high flying out of nowhere to block that shot. It's just too much athleticism. Remember how I pointed out how they shouldn't let Dirk shoot over his right shoulder? Well, watch how Anthony guards him, not letting him turn back to that right shoulder and forcing him to the baseline on the right side. And here's a better example. Haslam really sitting on Dirk's right shoulder, forcing him to the baseline. Here comes Bosh to double, and then there goes Terry kind of falling all over himself. And here's another extreme example of forcing him to his right. They double team, and look at Miller boxing out Chandler. What? How is that possible? And speaking of Miller, when he's guarding Marion, they have to go after him even more in the post. It was very successful for them all night, but it wasn't enough. The Heat will not double off of this and not help Miller. And this is one way to get Miller out of the game, by getting him in foul trouble or scoring at will on him. I will say that when Wade wants to be a good defender, he could be one of the best. Here he gets a hand on the pass and knocks it away, and then he blocks the shot. And let's watch how that happens. Marion shoots the ball unorthodox under his chin. Very easy to block it when you release it from there. This morning I had the privilege of being on AM 1560 The Game in Houston on the Nuno and Raheel show. Definitely check it out in the link below because we had a great conversation about Game 1. And they brought up this dunk by LeBron James late in the fourth quarter and asked why Tyson Chandler didn't come over and try and stop it or put LeBron on his seat. Let me show you why. LeBron brings it up slowly, up 7, and it appears they're going to run a little play, but he crosses over and goes up and just dunks it. But let's see where he takes off from. The dotted line. It's too late for Tyson Chandler to come over at that point because he's already in the air. No way to stop that. Extremely impressive. So there you have it, sports fans. The Mavericks have a very small margin for error. It's not impossible to win this series, but they need to execute better, and they can't put Chandler on Bosh as much because they need to have him guarding the post. They need to also use him more effectively in the offense. I think he's got a size advantage. Flash him in the middle, hit him, and he can hit Marion on the other side for layups and dunks. Dirk has to shoot a little bit better as well, as I'm sure he will, as the Mavericks can easily adjust to that overwhelming athleticism. But overall, it seems like a tall order for the Mavericks. Let's see what happens in Game 2. Stay tuned. Don't miss our Friday recap of Game 1 on the Nuno and Raheel show in Houston as well. Link down below. Check out Synergy Sports because they have a lot of stuff going on there with a lot of great stats and video. And don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, it's not a channel, it's a conversation. You in?